Hello everybody on the YouTubes, and thank you so much for tuning in to the second episode of 86th. Without you, probably couldn't have done the first episode. That's not true, I could have, and I did, but you were there, so thanks. Also, I'm supposed to say, smash the like button and subscribe. You know what? It doesn't matter. If you want to do that, cool. If not, cool. I'm not really here for that. I'm here to let you, the viewer, know what in the world the hospitality industry is really about. So without further ado, let's start the show. Welcome to the second episode of 86th. And tonight we're going to be discussing tipping etiquette. Mainly just one area of it because there's a lot to cover. So we'll probably just do one section and maybe do a few more episodes that cover other things. But on tonight's episode, we're going to talk about why it's important to tip. But before we get there, I want you to do me a favor and tell your friends and your mom and dad and your family members, whoever, never say these words ever again to anybody in the hospitality industry. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. That is a red flag for all of us in this hospitality industry because we know you're going to tip like shit. Seriously, you make us bust our ass, jump through hoops, dangle the proverbial carrot above our heads, and then you don't fulfill. Stop saying that. Please, I can't beg you guys enough. Stop. It is an insult because you guys never do. No one ever fulfills. That's just how it is. So, let's go. Okay, so why is it important to tip? Well, it's important to tip because it shows gratitude towards the service that you've received. Now, it's not to be confused with tipping based on the service you've received. Rather, it's the simple fact that you've been serviced. What this means is that the food could have sucked, or the music was too loud, or the drink was bad, or whatever excuse you want to say. But you still need to tip 20% because somebody's taking the time out to make this and deliver it to you to where you don't have to do anything. Now, if there's a problem, you need to speak to a manager. That way the problem can get addressed. By you not tipping doesn't really help us. And it doesn't really help you. And that's the fact. That's true. We rely on you to tip us. And if you're like, oh man, that server was bad. Why was he bad? Or why was she bad? What was bad about it? Was it food, drinks, whatever? Those things need to be addressed. And telling a server that doesn't do any justice. Let a manager know. Because the server sucks means their training sucked. Henceforth, tell a manager. Don't skip out on the tip because you thought that person was bad at their job. It's not fair. Now, if they paid us more an hour, then yeah, who cares? But they don't. So, the second part is we don't get paid diddly squat from the establishment that we're working in. And it's just how it is. And that's something we don't get to negotiate at all. I mean, you could say, oh, there's always room for negotiation. You're right, there is. But most of the time, you're not going to negotiate something for bartending or serving or whatever. So understand that. The restaurant has to make money, or the bar has to make money also. And a good way for them to cut labor costs is by hourly wages. I know some people that have bartended for years and they don't make an hourly wage at all. They just rely on tips solely. So, think about that for a second. Also, it's not going to change unless you have really good owners that really take care of their staff and want to tip more, or not tip more, but pay more. Or if big government decides to be like, let's step in and change something. But that's most likely not going to happen. Now that they can realize that they can pay us a little bit, and since everything is basically credit card transactions, now we're getting taxed efficiently or accordingly. So ultimately, we're kind of screwed. But understand, you need to tip accordingly. Period. You just have to. It doesn't make any sense for you not to. Right? Come on. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up. Another reason why it's important to tip is because people, we work long hours. Sometimes we work doubles, which means a 5-hour shift in the morning with an hour break and another 5-hour shift in the evening. And sometimes we work 10, 12-hour long straight through shifts. And before you come with the argument of, Well, you chose to be in that industry. Look, that's very invalid, and I'm really glad you realize that I'm in this industry as well. Look, just go back to some fast food chain with your fried whatevers and dip it in all the ranch that you can complain about, and just go sit back at your desk. Like, go away. Like, we don't care about your entitlement to be like, well, hay should be faster with masada ranch. Like, get out of here. Like, I don't want to talk to you about it. But it's just understand that, like, we go through a lot, and we hustle a lot, and you know, I feel like we work so hard at doing something for somebody else that when we don't get treated right, it reflects on our moods. It reflects on us deeply. So understand, like, you can have a $200 ticket and tip $9, and it's like, yeah, I got him. Man, you. I feel like I could talk about this for hours, and I really can. I could go on and 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 on about this. But there's something I wanted to point out. There's a line in an article on Bankrate.com, and I'll leave the article link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. And it says, quote, default on the side of generosity if you can't afford to tip. Acknowledge your appreciation some other way. A handwritten card or a small gift until your finances improve. Then give a tip. Okay, first off, this is complete horseshit. The weirdest part about this whole thing is, like, this is like the most destructive part of this entire article, because it doesn't really do anything for anybody. It just tells you, hey, it's okay to go out if you want to, and if you don't want to tip, that's cool, just write a thank you card. Fuck you. No, nobody wants a thank you card, because a thank you card can't pay my bills. If you have to go out and you can't tip at places that are like kind of like, hey, you need to tip here, go somewhere else, man. Go to Subway. I mean, you can tip them if you want. Just don't go to places that are like tips are expected. It's kind of insulting for someone to do that. Secondly, I can't pay my bills with the thank you card unless you put money in the thank you card. So unless there's money in the thank you card, don't waste time on buying a thank you card. You see, this is kind of like a weird full circle. The $4 you could have spent at Hallmark for a birthday card or a thank you card, you could have just put in my pocket. You see what I'm saying here? Also, thank you cards are really, I just don't like cards. I think they're kind of ridiculous. I think the whole premise of like, better get somebody a card was like formed in the 40s or 50s, and it's just ridiculous. We don't need cards. It's a waste of paper and a waste of time. Hey, thank you so much for the blah, blah, blah. You're welcome. Cool. Do you need a card for that? No, you don't. Sorry, I'm ranting on cards. But one last thing, I forgot. Check out Clever Fools. It says Clever Fools Worldwide. It's a new line they're kind of launching up here. Use code VERN15 for 15% off. That's what you get because I'm a brand ambassador. It means I get a lot of cool stuff for free. Just kidding. I paid for everything. You look great. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope everything's good, and see you next time. You know, I've really got to figure it out.